This is what we mean when we talk about Champions League heritage. This is exactly what we mean. What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. You know the face, you know the name. Aaron here, back again. Champions League nights. They never disappoint. They never disappoint, people. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Shout out to everybody showing love, respect. Shout out to everybody always tuning in. Let me just put my phone on. There we go. Shout out to everybody tuning in, commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing, all of that good stuff. Make sure you keep doing it because you're helping the channel massively. As you can see, the top that I've got on. Actually, yeah, let's start with this game. Two games were on tonight. The first one was Bayern Munich 1, Arsenal 0, and Bayern Munich advanced to the next round. They advanced to the semi-finals in a very long time, actually. When's the last time they went to the semis? I think it was the year they won it, if I'm not wrong, in 2020. 2020 was the last time they reached the semis, and yeah, 3-2 on aggregate for Bayern Munich. And I can't lie. You see Bayern Munich, yeah? And I talked about this last week. Professionalism, know-how, experience, knowing how to navigate through this competition. Bayern Munich, good night. These words describe Bayern Munich's performance tonight. That was a professional performance. And tactically, I have to say, Thomas Tuchel, that was spot on. Tonight, against Arteta, who's a really good coach, I've said it before, I just question his in-game management. Against someone like Arteta today, that was really good. I have to give him credit. From back to front, nobody really stood out, but everybody had a solid, I would say, between a 6.5 out of 10 to an 8 out of 10 performance. It was a solid performance from every single one of those Bayern Munich players. Bear in mind, no Alphonso Davies, who wasn't there who missed out on the game, who was suspended. No Serge Gnabry, who was injured. No Kingsley Coman, who's injured. And a lot of those players, a lot of the better players, in my opinion, were on the bench. At some points during the game, I was like, that midfield, that midfield is lacking ball-playing midfielders, because Lima and Goretzka, with all due respect, they're just two workhorses, isn't it? So I was like, maybe it's time to bring on Pavlovic. But, you know, Tuchel stuck to his guns and he was like, listen, I trust this team. The only ball-playing midfielder was Musiala, and he kind of struggled again today. A few passages where he carried the ball very well, won a couple of fouls, but honestly, man, that was a professional performance from Bayern Munich. And listen, the goal from Kimmich, for me, he's my man of the match, because I'm just looking at Kimmich's performances this season. He's received a lot of stick in the German media from the German fans, been deemed not good enough to play for Bayern Munich or for the national team. There was this whole discourse about, is he really a 6? Is he a right back? What's his best position? Now, ironically, his best position is right back, but I believe that's leading up to the Euros, and I believe that Nagelsmann and Tuchel have had a conversation about him playing in that position to get him warmed up, but that's a story for another day. I just think that Kimmich today, 3 players stood out to me. Well, stood out. 3 players who I thought were really good today in Bayern Munich's team were Kimmich. I talked about him, my man of the match. Guerrero was really good, played in that makeshift left winger role, but did a lot of defending. And those performances always go under the radar. Manuel Neuer. You guys probably don't understand, but the players will. Do you know how incredibly calm it is, or how incredibly relaxing and good it is to know that you've got someone like Neuer at the back, sweeping up everything, came off his line when he had to, interventions when he had to, came and collected the ball in the air, plucked it out of the air when he had to, made a good save with Martinelli's chance. Solid performance. The shot that was deflected, he dove early but managed to still kind of catch it. Those performances, like I said, go under the radar, but Manuel Neuer, for me, really solid performance tonight. And honestly, they deserve it. Bayern Munich deserved it. So, yeah, man. As for Arsenal, listen, I'm not even going to troll you, man, because first things first, if I was Arsenal, if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be fuming, because how is it that everybody you damn near came up... Yeah, I was going to say... No. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. How is it that you came up against damn near everyone in the Premier League, everyone in the Champions League, FA Cup, everyone you came up against this season, your attacking line, your front line, was a threat to them. And you failed to be a threat to Eric Dyer and Matthijs de Ligt? I would be absolutely seething if I was an Arsenal fan. How is that possible? Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus. This guy wants to be everything but a striker. I just don't understand how this guy functions. Kai Havertz. This guy wants to be everything but a midfielder. I would be out, like my head would be on Pluto right now if I was an Arsenal fan, that they didn't manage to bother, and I'm saying this lightly, they didn't even manage to bother Eric Dyer and Matthijs de Ligt. Arsenal fans have every right to be upset today. Every right, because there was nobody that took the game by the scruff of the neck and said, you know what, let me just, do you know what I mean? Let me do this. Let me drag this team to victory. Everyone was just happy to follow the plan. Like I said, and I've said it last season, Arsenal are good boys. They follow Arteta's plan, structured. Everybody follows the plan. Everybody does what they have to do. And that's it. Nobody takes risks. Nobody's taking risks. If you ask me, to name you all the best fullbacks in Europe right now, it would take me a while to get to Mazraoui. This guy locked up Bukayo Saka today. And this guy cannot escape the criticism for his performance tonight. Saka cannot escape criticism for his performance tonight, because that, in my opinion, was shambolic. How you didn't manage to absolutely toast Mazraoui today. And he did it in the first half, because there was a sequence where he ran past him and I was like, ooh, this could be a long night for Mazraoui today. It stopped there. Like, Saka wasn't a nuisance. He wasn't a problem. He didn't take on his man. He did nothing. And this is why I said to Arsenal fans, you need to be careful with these world-class shouts. Careful, because in those moments is where world-class players stand up. Those moments is where world-class players turn up. Bukayo Saka didn't turn up today. So if I was an Arsenal fan, if anything, I'd be absolutely seething right now, because, yeah, bro, that was a disgrace. I can't lie. That was an absolute disgrace. So, yeah, season done for Arsenal, if you ask me. Season done for Arsenal. And, Champions League stops there for you, man. So hopefully you learn from it. And hopefully you learn to respect other teams as well in terms of, the heritage. Yeah, the Champions League heritage. I told you guys about it. Another game which contained Champions League heritage is Manchester City against Real Madrid. Now, everybody was looking forward to this game. So was I. I was trying to watch both games at the same time, not miss anything. And honestly, the game had almost everything you wanted it to have. It went all the way down to the wire. It went all the way to penalties. Real Madrid, in my opinion, deservedly won the tie. I'll get to the penalties in a minute. I think Real Madrid deserved to win. Manchester City. Listen, this whole pep football is cute. I'm the first fan of that type of football. But when it comes to cup competitions, it's all about winning. If you just look at the stats here, I think Real Madrid today had something like 8 shots in total. Man City had 33. 24 of those shots were inside the box and they didn't manage to score. They only scored 1 goal. With Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland on the pitch, there's a problem. 919 passes completed versus the 458 for Real Madrid. You only scored 1 goal. There's a problem. Jeremy Doku came on. And listen, I'm a fan of him. I told you, look, when he signed for City, I said Pep's going to turn this guy into an absolute monster. Came on, few take-ons, and it stopped there. There's a problem. There's a problem. I'm looking at some of the other stats. 67% possession against Real Madrid's 33%. You only scored 1 goal. There's a problem. Do you see what I mean? And Real Madrid, man, flipping hell. The Champions League heritage, the know-how, knowing how to navigate through these games, having the luxury to bring on Luka Modric, for him to do what he still does at his age, you have to take your hat off. Credit to Ancelotti. And you can tell there is some sort of structure in the way Madrid play, but there's a certain amount of freedom that these guys play with. And you could tell that by the first goal that they scored. Really good goal. Really good goal. I don't know what Akanji was doing there, and I don't know what Walker was doing there either. Really good goal from Rodrigo. Obviously, Man City managed to come back after pushing. And you see when you play against Man City, they suffocate you with the way they play. Passes here, passes there. They knock it around, bring you into positions, uncomfortable positions you don't want to be in. And eventually they scored, which was deserved as well. But after that, the chances they had, Haaland. Oh, God. Again, Man City did this to themselves. Honestly, they can only blame themselves. They can only blame themselves. And look at them now. The title holders are out of the Champions League. And the most ironic thing as well is the Champions League final is going to be at Wembley and there's no English team left. All the English teams are out. Ironic, innit? You know what the funniest thing would be? If Bayern and Dortmund are in the final again, just like in 2013. That would be hilarious. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on it, man. Madrid deserved it. Penalty shootout. Actually, no, hold on. Let's talk about the penalties. What were some of those penalties on Man City's side? Bernardo Silva. What was that pen, my guy? And I've been praising this guy all season. I'm not taking anything away from his ability, all of that, no. But that penalty was shambolic. I don't know what he was thinking. And Lunin, listen, hey, he did his job, man. Saved 2 pens. Done well, in my opinion. Done really well. And Madrid's pens, man. Apart from the first one that they missed. Some of these pens, you can tell the experience, the know-how. They know how to get through these situations. And then you got someone like Carlo Ancelotti on the sidelines just chilling. No pressure. And again, this was without Tchouaméni, who was injured. They started Nacho, who had a solid performance, by the way. I'm not taking anything away from his performance. Captain as well tonight. That was a solid professional performance as well from Real Madrid. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below. The semi-finals of the Champions League are set. Real Madrid will be facing Bayern Munich. Ooh, that's going to be tasty. And Paris Saint-Germain will be facing Borussia Dortmund. Let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think from the Arsenal Bayern Munich game, or Bayern Munich Arsenal? What do you think of the Man City Real Madrid game? Let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff. And I will see you tomorrow for more match reactions. Remember, Liverpool have a remontada to do. And if they don't, we're going to be here and we're going to be talking about it. Anyway, have a good night, people, and I'll see you tomorrow. I told man about the Champions League heritage, but people don't want to listen. These things really exist.